Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, I'm the Gnarly Gnome. This is called the Weekly Pint. It's not a show, it's a happy hour, an excuse for us all to hang out together and try to make Facebook do what we want Facebook to do for us, which is not always easy to do. That's what I'm doing behind the scenes if you didn't catch on. Trying to poke at Facebook and make it do what I want it to do. All right. Welcome back. It's another fun week. Some good stuff, some bad stuff, some confusing stuff. It's always exciting. But because it's a happy hour and the excuse is just for us to hang out and drink together, as you do start drinking something, whatever that may be, please jump on the chat and tell me what it is you are sipping on. As I try to get all of these cables that are run all over the place managed here. We are still like tweaking this the studio here. I talked about it a little bit last week. Some of the changes that I had made that you guys can't necessarily see. Hopefully, there's more. So I'm replacing this light here with a different one, with a smaller one, trying to cut back on some of the chaos that's all over here. We're trying to fix that. So hopefully that'll be. I don't know if it'll be here by the next episode or not. We'll see. We'll see. Let's see. Marco's getting ready to have a psychopathy. Julia is having Narrow Path Teddy Bear. Chris just cuvée Rhinegeist Chocolate Mousse Stout and an Urban Artifact Cappy Snacks. Oh, that sounds great together. Straight up, I think that I need to try that. Let's see. Eric's latest mistake. Got a Tucher's Dunkelweissen from a halftime German variety pack. That sounds fun. Marco says, I spy some Malort. Yeah, there's always Malort hanging out here in the studio. That's still left over from last week. You're supposed to be able to see more of it. I must have tweaked my camera a little bit and made it a little more zoomed in. Here, let's see if we can fix that, maybe. A little bit too much. Right. Maybe. Oh, too much. There we go. Right about there's, I think, where it's supposed to be. Even that might be a little too far. I don't know. We'll figure it out. Yeah, there's always Malort hanging out here in the studio. There's also a spoiler here. We'll scoot that so you don't see that. Let's see. Jeremy is having Bourbon County Stout, original 4-pack. All right. Hopefully not the whole 4-pack. Although, look, I don't judge. It's a happy hour. You can do whatever you want. Ryan is cracking into Jord's Bounty. Jord's Bounty, I guess, if it's Viking-inspired ale from Yellow Springs. Josh is having a Lotus from Esoteric. I do have a beer that I've never tried before, sitting just off camera that I'm really, really excited to try. It is not local, not even close to being local. We'll talk about that. Chris mentions I also had a harp before all of this. If you guys are new to this thing, though, this show, whatever this thing is, I always hesitate to call it a podcast, because I feel like podcasts should be audio first, and this show is not audio first. There is an audio feed, and I appreciate all of you who listen that way, but this is a video show. This is meant to be enjoyed live with each other right now. If you have to watch it after it's recorded later, that's fine too, again, but it's meant to be done right here on Monday nights, 9:30-ish. How did we do today? We did all right. We definitely hit the ish, but close enough. It's fine. It's a very strange show, so we can kind of do whatever we want. All right, yeah, we kick this thing off every week with something we call the Schnappening, and typically there is lots of schnapps that hang out here around. Not just here in the studio, but around the bar here in the basement of my house. This is Gnome Central. This is where I make all of the content, all of the things to talk about drinking in the city with you guys, be it the website or YouTube videos or podcasts, all of that stuff. A lot of it happens right here. And so there's lots of things laying around, lots of fun drinks. And we started at one point imbibing in schnapps, specifically peppermint schnapps. It was probably about a year ago. around Christmas time, and I drink a lot of peppermint schnapps. Um, and that kind of grew into something we call the Schnappening, where we kicked off the show drinking schnapps and eventually just strange beverages. Not always strange, just like fun little sips of something unique, I guess. Unique. That's what we'll put it. I found one. I found another one today that I do not have behind the bar, and I felt like I needed it behind the bar, and I figured I would crack into it with you guys. Let me pull up all of my notes before I do this, before I completely throw myself off. This is an Amari. If you don't know what Amari are, that is the plural for Amaro. If that doesn't help, Amaro are bitter liqueurs. So often, like before or after dinner, that's a lot of the things that you'll see me drink. A lot of the things that I love the most are kind of the bitter stuff. I'm assuming this is bitter. I've never had it before. This is Amaro Nardini. You might recognize this from The Sopranos. I believe they drank this all the time on The Sopranos, if I am correct. I believe. This is an Amari, as you can see by Amaro, written on the bottle. It says, from an old family recipe, a perfect balance of mint, bitter orange, and gentian notes, with an irresistible licorice aftertaste, served cold or on ice, with a thin slice of orange and a mint sprig. I'm not doing all of that, or as a cocktail ingredient. I'm not doing any of that. It's not cold. It's not going to be on ice. I'm certainly not serving it with a mint sprig or something, and I'm not making a cocktail. I'm just going to drink it because that's how we roll here. Glass. Okay. Eric says, so now it's a business expense since you created content with it. There's a little more to it, but that's part of it. I am not just making content once. It's all about the content. If we can, I've been having so much trouble lately getting bottles open. I feel like I'm. Ooh. Okay, got some crusties. That's always a good sign. Oh yeah, man, it smells good. Oh, I'm excited about this one. We'll give a nice little healthy pour. Amaro Nardini. I believe that the Nardini distillery, there's probably a more Italian way to say that, is the oldest distillery in Italy. I believe that. I'm not 100% sure because I didn't do enough research. That's it's not the point of the Schnappening, is not to have well-researched drinks. It is, I'm going to call it like a cough syrupy brownish red color. I know that sounds terrible, but that's what it looks like to me. Ooh. Julia says she brought up one of the last tiny bottles of Malort for her and Josh to have a Malortening with my Schnappening. This smells great. Sometimes when you read the descriptions, you expect something very different than what you actually get. When I sit here and I read this and it's talking about mint, bitter orange, I don't actually know what gentian tastes like, but whatever. Licorice aftertaste. I think I was expecting more citrus aromas, and I don't know why. I definitely get like a clovey kind of thing. Okay, let's dive in. Let's see. Way sweeter, but definitely like a bitter kind of aftertaste. That's fun. That just goes in all kinds of directions, all at the very end. And definitely some mint. The licorice is kind of hidden in there. It's kind of like just an afterthought. definitely taste the gentian. I don't know. It's probably gentian that I'm tasting. Oh, I love that. Oh, I love that. That is great. That's really, really. I love a lot of the things that I have behind the bar. That at the end of the night, you can come and you can get a glass, like a glass with ice in it. Usually for me, that's obviously not how I'm tasting it here, and not how I will taste it if I'm wanting to try to kind of taste something. But just like a rocks glass with some ice in it, a nice little pour of something like this, and then just kind of sit back and relax. Like I don't have to I don't have to pick it apart. I don't have to think too hard about it. But if I want to, I can, and there's always a lot going on. That's the kind of stuff that I like, and that goes for spirits or even beers. Maybe not the ice, but like a drink that if I don't want to fuss over it, I don't have to. But if I do, I can just kind of flip on a dime and then start kind of obsessing over it a little bit more. That's the stuff that I like. This reminds me a lot of that Amaro de Angostura, I think is what it was called. We did that on one of the episodes, or maybe multiple episodes. I don't know. I think it's still chilling in there, but that's what this reminds me of. Definitely like a clovey kind of personality. This definitely finishes way different. Like that minty herbal thing is very different. Oh yeah, that's the mint. Like fresh mint. Like you just picked it up and smacked it and stuck your face in there. Definitely there is some peppermint going on, but not like candy cane voltage peppermint schnapps peppermint. This is more more like you just walked past an open door to a candy shop and got a little whiff of peppermint while you're walking out in the spring breeze or something. That's kind of what it smells like. Man, that's fantastic. I did good. I picked a good one today. Man, that's fantastic. It almost feels like it's healthy for you. I don't know that it is, but it feels like it is, and that's important to me, that my drinks always leave me feeling like they're doing good for me. I don't like the ones that make me think that they're doing something bad to my insides, and those are definitely around. They're doing something bad inside of you that you don't want them doing. Chris says, I had a chartreuse for the first time in 20 years last weekend. I don't think I've ever tried chartreuse by itself. That's not true. I have tried vintage chartreuse. I used to, one of my previous clients was Revival Vintage Spirits down in Covington. If you've never been down there, stop by and see Brad. But the thing that they have created down there is unlike any other place that I've ever been to. They sell vintage spirits, mostly vintage bourbon. There's a lot of bourbon coming in and out of that place, Kentucky. But behind all the bourbon, he's got all of this crazy, crazy stuff coming in. And some of the stuff that I love the most is the weird stuff, be it chartreuse or old tequilas or even old gins, something that I would never think would age well is always fascinating. Yeah, there's a lot of crazy stuff. But yeah, I think I've tried chartreuse there, but I've never just tried fresh chartreuse. I've had it in cocktails plenty of times, but maybe we need to fix that. Let's move on here. Let's open a beer. How about that? Okay. If you remember back to let me figure out what day it was. There was A beer vent beer. Zivjek Bialway, I believe was what it was called. Yes. This was December 17th, so the day 17 of the beer event calendar. We had a beer called Zivjek Bialway, which is incredibly fun to say. And when I was at the store and perusing the beer aisle, I happened to go down the import aisle because sometimes I like to see what's going on down there. And there was more Zivjek beer. I think there were like 4 of them. And so I looked at them. I tried to understand all of them, tried to understand which ones would be the most fascinating to also try. And I settled on one. This is Zivjek IPA. I was so fascinated by the fact that this Ukrainian brewery made an IPA that I had to try it, especially since, like, when you read this, it says hoppy and aromatic session India Pale Ale with a pleasurable bitterness. Then they go on up here at the top, and it says Zivjek Session IPA, cold hopped with hints of exotic fruits from American hops. Cloudiness and sediment are natural features of the product. They straight up just made an American Session IPA in the Ukraine, and I need to try that. So I grabbed it. Ryan says, I saw a few of their beers at Dorothy Lane Market in Mason. Julia says, I need it, and they're Polish, not Ukrainian. Maybe, yeah, you're right. I am probably spoiling a future beer that'll be on the show. I got something that is Polish, which is this one, and something that is Ukrainian, which will be on another one. I spoiled it. Maybe I'll have to drink it tonight, just since I spoiled it. Actually, I think it's upstairs, so I don't want to. Yeah, it's Polish. My fault. Okay, let's dive into this and see how American IPA like it is. Zivjek IPA. All right. It says natural cloudiness is a feature of the product. Please don't be skunky. Please don't be skunky. This was on a room temperature shelf I've had in the fridge since then. This was stored at room temperature in the beer store, which is one of my pet peeves. I don't know how the beer was handled before it got to that store. All I know is how I handled it once it got into my hands. Julia says it's a feature, not a bug. Exactly. If it's skunky, it's meant to be that way too, obviously. That's a good-looking beer. It's actually not like super cloudy. I could probably stir it up a little bit and get it cloudier, but I'm not going to do that. It's like there's like a touch of like a coppery kind of darkness to like the maybe the edges of the beer. It's not as bright as I was thinking it was going to be. Big old white head on top though, or maybe slightly off white. It's hard to tell. I've very mixed lighting colors coming in here. Ryan says, I also saw single bottles of Braubeeren from Third Eye Dorothy Lane. Bought 2. That's good to know. Chris says, I assumed Heineken is supposed to be skunky and Warsteiner. I don't think it is. I think that we've like just started saying that. If you get a can of Heineken or get it on draft, it is not a skunky beer, and it's not a great beer, but it's a fine beer. All right, let me dive into this thing and see how close they got here with an American IPA, American Session IPA. How sessionable is it? It smells good. 5% is what my notes say. Let's see. Yeah, not skunky. And it doesn't smell old, which is good. Maybe some slight tropical notes. It's not like as bright citrusy as I was wanting it to be. But we're a little spoiled here. All right, let me dive in. I still have one bottle of the Brow Baron hanging out, and I keep forgetting it's upstairs in the main fridge, like our regular fridge in our kitchen. So I keep forgetting it's in there, and it's all the way down in the bottom on the door, like in one of those little compartments there. So I don't ever see it unless I'm hunting for like, I don't know, mirin or something weird that we don't use that often. All the way down there, but I saw it the other day, and I'm like, ooh, I need to remember that and drink it. Maybe I'll do that tonight after my wife goes to bed and she can't see me drink it. I love the way this smells. It's not just like straightforward, like fruity hops, like I think a lot of beers now sometimes are. Like there's more going on to this. All right, I'm gonna drink it. I promise. Mm. Yep, you know what? That's a great beer. It's a well-made beer. It's not as exciting as a lot of other IPAs are. It could use a little bit more bitterness for me, but that's a great beer, especially considering that this came all the way from Poland. The hops, it's always fascinating to me to think about this. The fact that you've got hops that are being grown here in the United States. They then somehow package all those up, ship them all the way to Poland to a brewery where these Polish dudes, I'm assuming dudes, there could be women that work there, I don't know. They take this all and they make this beer and they bottle it and then they put that into some kind of crates, send that off. It gets back on another boat or something, probably a boat, goes all the way back across the ocean, back to the United States, makes its way through our fractured 3-tier system, ends up on a shelf in my store. I get it and I crack it open. That whole process fascinates me. I love it. It's good beer. This is the type of beer that, like, if I walked into a local brewery and I ordered their session IPA and I got this, I would be very happy with it. I would probably drink many of them throughout the night. Might even stick with it all night long. Would go home, and if somebody asked what I thought about the brewery, I'd be like, oh yeah, they had great beer, or they had good beer. But at the same time, if somebody's like, hey, where should I go to get a session IPA? It's probably never going to pop into my mind because there's nothing like distinctive about it. It's just a good beer. It looks good. It tastes good. It smells good. But there's nothing that like stands out. I mean, look, that's a good looking beer. But yeah, like let's say about the little bit of the copper kind of notes to it. I think it's not like a bright colored beer. Hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I can do that. I can get behind that. All right. Moving on. Let's jump into a couple topics that I want to talk about tonight because there is some stuff we should talk about. The very first one is about Misrule. So Misrule posted on Facebook a statement, and I'll pull that up here in a second, that they are going to be stopping serving of their beers at their current tap room, which is located in a little pizza place up in Oxford, Ohio. That's the only place you can get their beer that I know of. But there might be some other taps around Oxford that are serving it. I have not seen it. I obviously don't spend as much time in Oxford as I do anywhere else in Cincinnati because it's a little bit of a drive. But I do go there on a fairly regular basis just to check things out, and I haven't seen it anywhere. But they are stopping serving their beer there as of the end of the year. They will not be sending any more beer. But they are quick to point out that there is something else in the works. We should actually pull up the statement so I can read the whole thing and you can kind of see it for yourself. Let's see. Okay. The last day Misrule beer will be sold in the 31 West High Street tap room in front of Bello Pizza. So when you walk into Bello, there's a bar right in the front of the restaurant, and that's, I guess, what they're considering their tap room. You sit there, the beer's all on tap, and then kind of the rest of the building is the pizza place. We'll get to all of these questions. Will be this Wednesday, December 31st, 2025. While this year has had its challenges, it's been a true joy to serve Oxford its own craft beer in 2025. We're already at work on our next chapter for the coming year. Misrule lives on. They're quick to point that out. Other than go on, we feel deeply grateful to everyone who has come in to grab a pint or three, to all of those who have joined us for festivals, and especially to the incredible team of Misrule bartenders who made our transition from a small upstart in a barn to an uptown tap room possible. Shout out to, he names the people that they're thankful for. What a pleasure it has been to work with all of you. We couldn't have asked for a more capable and engaging face of Misrule these last 9 months. We also want to thank our Bello friends and wish them the best. To our brewers and partners, so these are all people that they have collaborated with and that make their beer. For decades, we've heard how wonderful the beer community is, but the generosity and support we've experienced firsthand have exceeded anything we could have expected. It has been an overwhelming delight, and we are deeply grateful. We hope to pay that generosity back and forward in the years ahead. Special thanks to our Quinn and Patrick, our trusted taproom advisors. Terrific barkeeps in their own right. These two have been the engine that has made Misrule hum behind the scenes. We are so grateful for all you have done. A very special thanks to Amanda and Carrie, who have supported us millions of ways throughout this journey. 'Tis the season of Saturnalia, the origin of Misrule. Come join us for a Feast of Fools special until we kick our last kegs. $5 pints in our tap room today, which was Sunday, and Wednesday, New Year's Eve, until we run out. Cheers to all our friends, patrons, and regulars. It has been such a pleasure to serve all of you this year, and look forward to doing it so again in new places next year. Okay, there's a lot to unpack here, and a lot of things that I'm trying to understand with it. First off, Chris mentioned, did you also see Holtman's in Westchester is closing this week? The Holtman's donut empire grew so fast and so big, and then the family kind of had some splits, I think, and I don't know that it's incredibly shocking. Eric says, "Oh no, I was hoping to get back while the students are gone." I don't know how long the beer will be around at Bello. Ryan says, "I only go to Oxford for Steinkeller." There are other places in Oxford that are great, but Steinkeller is the best. I will be going to Steinkeller this week. Stay tuned for that. Chris has attended at Mac and Joe's, also a great place, but Steinkeller is the best side in my opinion. Okay, here's what's interesting with this whole statement. It does not sound sad at all. It doesn't sound like they're even thinking that they're not going to be opening back up somewhere else. The comments so far on the post, although there haven't been a ton of them, are all people that are like, "Oh, we can, let us know when the new place opens." I don't know what this new place is. They have the actual brewery itself, which is not really set up to be a tap room, and I can't imagine will ever be a tap room. There are also two other, what I'm going to call interesting, pending brewing licenses in Oxford. The Oxford is a very unique space in that we have a lot of places for a small town, the way it is, that are using kind of the Ohio loophole of if you want to get a liquor license, you just open a brewery, then get an A1A, and you can serve whatever you want as long as you make your own beer. There's a lot per capita, I guess, that are doing this. And Quarter Barrel was the first. There's a chicken place right now that is using that loophole. I'm assuming that there is a chance that some of these other pending licenses could just be places using that loophole. With that being said, I can't help but speculate that at least one of them might be a standalone Misrule tap room. I could be wrong on that. They could be shifting the entire model of Misrule just to like collaborations and be putting them on tap just in a wider kind of Cincinnati net. That's possible too. But they make it sound like they're going to have a Misrule space. That's the way I took this statement, and I think that is interesting. Chris says Steinkeller was not there when I was in school, but I did design the building they're in. That's cool. I feel like I've talked to you about this before. Steinkeller is easily one of my favorite bars in Greater Cincinnati, and by far my favorite bar in Oxford. We typically, depending on what day New Year's falls on, we typically go there for like an early dinner on New Year's Eve, drink a whole bunch of German beer, and eat a whole bunch of food, and then go back to my in-laws' house. They live kind of up in that area, and continue to drink heavily, play poker, watch football, and then keep drinking heavily for at least another day. But the highlight of it for me is going to Steinkeller, because I just don't get up there as much as I want to. Julia says, I took the wording the same way, that they're opening their own space, but who knows? That's the way it sounded, but then the more I think about it, then it still doesn't make a ton of sense. It's like, if you're opening your own space, why wouldn't you leave like the satellite tap room in the pizza place open until your space is up and running? Why would you shut it down before that's ready? I can't figure it out. I just can't. I can't really understand it. And I know I should probably just reach out to them and try to figure it out. But the way it's falling with the holidays too, like there's just so much stuff going on. Like it's hard to do that. But I'm gonna probably reach out here and see if I can't figure out some more. And when I do, I will definitely share it with you guys. But I wanted to point it out on this show so you guys can kind of speculate on your own and talk about it and figure it out. It's news. That's what we do. We speculate. Okay. Let's moving on past that. That's kind of the big, I guess, Cincinnati beer news that we had to cover. Well, there's always other things that more speculation and more semi-news that we could talk about, but we won't. Let's talk about New Year's. So I have this thing where I don't like making New Year's resolutions. I never have, and I don't really know why. I think it's like this oppositional defiance thing that I have, that like, if you tell me to do something, it makes me not want to do it. Or if you tell me that I'm supposed to do something a certain way, it makes me want to explore every other way to do it, to make sure that way is the right way before I do it. That's a huge issue with me, and also one of my biggest strengths, I think. But with that, when people say, oh, New Year is like a fun new start and new opportunity to set new goals or whatever, that frustrates me. And I'm like, that doesn't make any sense. Like, if you want to set a goal, just do it when you think about it. It doesn't have to be like this New Year's resolution, this thing. And that's pretty true of me. At the same time, when I think about it logically, like I usually break my year down into to quarters, and I do these 13-week blocks throughout the year. And within those 13 weeks, in those, I will have pretty substantial things that I'm like, all right, in this 13 weeks, this is the thing that has to happen, and I'll break it down, and I'll do that in those 13 weeks. And that is, by very definition, a goal. And the way the timing works out, one of those blocks always starts somewhere right around the first of the year. It's not always on the first, but always starts right around that time. And the more I think about it, the more I realize I am kind of setting resolutions. And so I started thinking about it that way this year, and I realized that this might be the first year where I'm admitting to myself that I'm setting actual resolutions. So we've talked on other shows that I do on the Brewcast specifically in the past about resolutions, and they were all kind of beer-related things. I'm going to try to drink more local beer. I'm going to try to make it to more tap rooms, that kind of stuff. And they're kind of hollow goals. They're not like actual measurable things that move the needle in your life. This year is going to be a big needle mover in my life for me. Over the last 5 years, I've been building this business side of what I do, and so that I can give more time and attention to the content creation that I do, which is something that fuels my soul. This idea that I can talk about drinking in the city, I love it. I cannot picture my life without being able to talk about that. When I quit the day job to kind of start doing all this stuff, I was hoping that it meant that I would be able to kind of be doing both at the same time. And like the clients that I would pick up would be people within this bubble that then also fueled this, and the two could kind of feed off of each other. And there's a lot of that happens and is happening. But there's a lot that's not. There's a lot of just work for work's sake, like jobs that I take that are like halfway through your day, you're like, man, this is not fulfilling. This is not something that is feeding the passion. And as we enter into 2026, I'm re-looking at a lot of that stuff. I'm kind of changing what type of work I do, who I work with, who I work for, and why, and how it can fuel other things. Not necessarily, that doesn't mean that I'm not taking clients that aren't in the industry, because I probably will. I definitely will. But if I am going to do work that is not fulfilling in that realm, it's got to look a little different for me, because this year we're launching the magazine. I'm trying to move forward on some much bigger things that I've been working on for a very long time that I hope I can get closer to being reality. I'm trying to pay more attention to merch and things like that, so I can get these Nomi boxes finally sent out. There's some things that need to move forward that haven't been, for lots of different reasons, and I'm excited that I think I think this year will be good for that. Elijah is drinking Westside barley wine after an evening of playing trivia at Gilligan's. That sounds fantastic. Speaking of Gilligan's, we will have to talk before the end of the show about the beer dinner coming up, so stay tuned for that if you don't already know about it. I guess like the whole topic for this is like this idea of kind of restarting, so not even restarting, like shifting kind of your mindset into a new year, and like I don't want to use any kind of cheesy jargon about it, this rebirth or whatever, but that's kind of what it feels like for me, is that like it's a kind of reinvigoration of like the passion that is really kind of behind all of this stuff. Maybe that's a better way to put it. It's like reconnecting the actual like physical things that I'm doing every day to why I'm doing them. Every one of those things has to connect better to the why behind all of this stuff, because there's been a lot of things over the last year that afterwards I'm looking at and I'm like, that doesn't. There's no connection there from the bigger why I do what I do and why I am who I am to this is how I spent 12 hours on this random Thursday. That if there's not a connection there, it can't happen. Like it's not going to happen, because even if that connection is as simple as I made a decent amount of money, that's a connection. That's something that fuels something else. But if none of that is there, I can't keep doing it. And I think that the side effect of that is I think that in 2026 I will be taking less freelance work. I think is what we're gonna not I think I'm pretty certain that I will be taking less freelance work. I have found in my experience that most of the freelance jobs that I'm taking just aren't they aren't fueling the beast enough. And so we'll see less of them and more beast fueling. I don't know if any of that is like too cryptic or too confusing or too metaphoric or something, but I'm trying to figure this all out. And I'm trying to be able to do more of what I love for the reasons that I love to do it. Hopefully that at least makes some kind of sense. Who knows? What you can definitely expect in 2026, and we'll lay it out. Here's the things you can definitely expect. You can expect the Weekly Pint every Monday, or close to every Monday. Tin Fiona says, we can't wait for the magazine. Hope that fuels your beast. Yes, that's a good one. You will definitely see the magazine in 2026. You will see more attention to the website, hopefully more frequent articles on there, more like timely news stuff that I think is fun to share and kind of build some kind of I think of the website a lot as like this story, this timeline of drinking in the city. You'll see more on there. You will definitely see more frequent, consistent episodes of Cincy Brewcast. Excuse me. I can't stop burping. More consistent episodes of Cincy Brewcast. It will not be a weekly show in 2026. I can guarantee that. I'm hoping that we do 2 a month is the goal. I think I talked about this previous week, but the intention will be that 1 week you have an episode of Cincy Brewcast, the next week you have an episode of Drinking with a Gnome, and that kind of goes back and forth. That way we get to talk about beer and wine and spirits and things like that. That's the intention. I can promise that the Weekly Pint will be weekly. Everything else, I don't know. You will definitely see a lot more social media attention. This is something that I've been trying to figure out over the last, I'm going to say the last year, maybe. When I started the Gnarly Gnome and the blog and social media accounts and all of that stuff, social media was kind of this weird, I started the accounts pretty quickly after I launched the website and started sharing stuff out on them, but I always, and like that when I say always, I'm talking like up until like a year or two ago, like I always like looked at the Facebook account and the Instagram account and all of that stuff as the purpose of them was always to drive people to the website. Like I created something here. Here's some other content that I made that will make you want to go over here and read about it. And over the last year, I've realized that all of these are different platforms that all have their own content that needs shared. And so, like, there will be things that go out on Facebook or on Instagram or maybe even TikTok, maybe YouTube. There are different ways to share information, and there are some things that deserve to live on one platform but don't necessarily work on the other platforms. So I'm hoping to continue to kind of understand that. And in that, you'll hopefully see a lot more content on those platforms. That's what I've got planned for the coming year. More focused content about drinking in the city. That's the easiest way to put it. Hopefully you guys are all excited to be along for the ride. This magazine is going to be awesome. It's going to be such a fun project that I think you guys are all going to love. It has been so much fun continuing to kind of put it together and kind of making it come to life. Once I'm able to bring more people into that creating process, that's where it's really, really going to get exciting for me to be able to have other people share their experiences with drinking in the city. Because I've got my opinions, I've got my thoughts, I've got the way that I like to tell these stories. The fun for me is hearing other people tell the stories, and to be able to find some kind of platform that I can help people do that. That is so much fun to me, and to be able to engage with that content on like a consumption level. Like, I want to read other people's stuff. It's fun. Tin Fiona says, so true, you sort of have to tailor content for the platform. You do, and like I don't know why it took me so long to figure that out. And like there are videos that deserve to be just minute shorts, and there are videos that deserve to be 20-minute long YouTube videos. And then there are things that should just be written. There are things that should just be a carousel of pictures on Instagram. And I'm trying to understand that better from my creation kind of perspective and trying to make sure I'm doing it the right way. So that's what you can expect. In the meantime, we'll just keep doing this thing the way we do. I appreciate all of you for hanging out with me. I'm going to keep drinking this beer and probably open another one and get some stuff done that needs done before tomorrow. So thanks for hanging out. If you like this thing, if you like any of the stuff that I do, you can always go to thegnarlygnome.com/support. If you have not already bought your tickets for the Gnarly Gnome and Gilligan's Beer Dinner, do that. Go to thegnarlygnome.com/tickets, and it'll take you right to the website where you can order the tickets. The date is January, off the top of my head. What is the date? It is the 15th, January 15th, at Gilligan's in Wyoming. We will have the full menu posted before then, so you can see for yourself kind of what we're working on. There's a special beer being brewed for the event. We have not talked about what it is yet, I don't think, but it's a dark Czech lager, and I'm so excited to try it. I really didn't help that much other than hang out while Eric was brewing it there. So Ryan says, have they announced a menu yet for the dinner? No, not yet. But it will be before the event. Wish I could go to a beer dinner. When will you do a Texas event? Be happy to do a Texas event if we can get a brewery that will fly me out, put me up in a hotel, and do all of that. Then we can do an event down there. All right, I appreciate you guys. I'm gonna go get some stuff done. So thanks for hanging out with me. Tell all your friends. Tell everybody that you think would like to hang out and drink with us on Monday nights. Tell them that they should do that. They should tune in right here every Monday night, 9:30-ish. It's really easy to remember. And we'll do it again next week. Cheers, everybody. I appreciate all of you more than you know. Have a happy new year. Everybody stay safe. And we'll see you So I get to do this just a couple times every year. I'll see you guys next year. Thanks, guys. You guys tell me what tasting video should post this week. Short form video. Should I do a canned cocktail or a beer? I have both of them recorded, ready to go. You tell me which one posts this week. Canned cocktail or beer, and we'll make it happen. Done.